think season 2 started off pretty what I thought it was going to start off
Yeah, I
with.
think so too. Do you have lemons out here? All right, we're going super rustic on this shit. Garlic, lemon. Are you using that rosemary for anything?
He's just taking notes.
Bring it back to nature.
It'll all come together.
That's good.
No, but that's the thing. Everybody does go through their own shit. You never know what everybody's going through.
Sydney asked Tina to be sous chef.
Oh, that was a good moment in the show, for sure.
Now that was kind of interesting. Like she went out the street to catch her before she left. She was like, "Got something to ask you about, the Sioux," and she thought she was asking her to look for somebody.
Yeah.
And then when she hit her with it, that was a pretty cool moment, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. In her journey too, going to the school and
Yeah.
the first season, they didn't know why they were doing what they were doing.
Right.
They just were told that, and then when they went out and actually saw how this thing works.
Or even when he sent sent him off to stage. That was
Yeah,
pretty
I thought
cool.
that was
Yeah, that
huge.
was really cool.
That was.
Anybody here ever had stage?
Oh, I did it Skunk Go.
Did you?
That's how I
Well,
got
I mean,
it.
I think there's different levels of the stage.
Oh,
game,
100%.
right?
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like, I think that, pretty much the second half of my career is always, that's how you get the job, right?
Yep.
Is you come in for the day and you cook and
Yeah.
then you sit down and you talk to the whoever, if it's the corporate chef or whatever, and they want to make sure that you know what the fuck you're doing. You can
Right.
use a knife,
You-
because there's so many pretenders out there that,
So true.
Not only that,
You
but
know,
like
and-
clean up after yourself too after you're done.
yeah.
That's a big deal too.
Well, when I staged at the Cork too, they told me afterwards I was the only one that cleaned up after myself.
That's why I brought it up.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, nobody cleaned up
No,
their station? That was
no.
shocking to me.
Right, but those are the little things that like will get you hired.
Right.
Again, it was just the characters were learning the process of why they were doing what they were doing.
Right.
and understand it. And then there's all those little tidbits of peeling the mushrooms and, doing the
Use
desserts.
a lime at all, anybody?
No.
Knock a little zest out. I don't know if they knew it right away, but he was Carmi was sending off the people that he worked with.
Right.
Right.
So
And
he connected them with
yeah,
with him.
I thought that was pretty fucking solid because
Yeah, that
you
was
see,
smart.
like, especially when Richie figured it out. It's like he's walking down the hallway and sees a picture from the cat
Yeah.
from them. He's
Yeah.
like, all right, this is the real shit, man. This is why I'm here. 'Cause
Oh,
at first he wasn't-
Richie's episode was, I thought, huge.
he's-
Richie came
I love
along.
that.
I liked his character,
He-
especially towards the end, a lot.
he
Loved
became
it.
my new favorite character.
Yep.
No, right, and it
100%.
was somebody that I was annoyed with, right?
fucking
guy, right?
But then,
What the fuck have you
then he got into it, and he saw why you do what
Right.
you do, and hospitality, how huge that is, and but understanding how the little tidbits and the.
I'm gonna leave this head on. I just gotta make sure it fits here.
Just
I think it's
smashing-
cool when as we all have seen that, you have someone that comes through and then when they, like with Richie, when it clicks,
Yeah.
it fucking
Right.
happens, and you
Yeah.
see them go from here to fucking banger.
Yeah,
Like, that's a fucking rock star, man.
it
That's
is.
cool
It's
shit.
huge.
Oh my
You
gosh!
take
I
'em
almost
rough.
spilled my
You
bourbon.
take 'em-
Cooking in the fucking woods. Throw this onion right on there and get it roasted. Why not?
Chimichurri looks nice. What do we want to do with the bread?
Grill it. We're gonna do
Grill
that
it
cheese.
and
We're
then
gonna do the
grill
Argentinian cheese and this cast iron. Probably get that on the.
Like a star is, that's legit.
And you got to maintain it too.
Yeah, you got to maintain it. Not only
They-
that, you got to
they
get
can
it.
Take it as well. They give it.
Yeah,
to
they
you.
can take it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I just think he's doing it for himself and for his brother.
Yeah.
That's what I pick up off of it, and that's where that fucking passion comes through. If everyone was coming along for the ride, and that's like Sydney's goal, that's cool. But I think for him, it's like, this is for me. This is my shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
100%.
fucking prove something to not just everybody else, but to himself as well. I think that's the biggest draw for her. I think that's what she's pushing hard for, which is cool. I think that's good to have that because she's that driving force to another element that pushes his ass a little bit.
I think Carmi's went through it and was like, didn't want her to go through it in a way too. I think for me, it was being protective of her. Was like, listen, you sure you want to do that? Like to go through all that and be, that's super focused. Every day you're living that. That's what you're living, that restaurant. And at the same time, he was like questioning that, right? Through the whole season. Found the girl, questioning what he was doing, and I think that was a big, what is that?
I was gonna hit a
Mosquito?
Yeah, you
Son
had
of a gun, it got me too.
I'm more attracted to like the whole James Beard thing. Anyone from a taco truck to a Michelin star chef can get a James Beard. Just to get nominated for a James Beard is just like,
Yeah.
that would be the shit.
The older I get, the more I'm like, you know what? This is about the younger generation coming up.
My thing is my thing is just to do the thing,
Right.
right? Like you come in, you pay your money, you expect what you get, and hopefully we exceed your expectations. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Is you're like, this is a place, it's a destination, you know, and they tell their friends they want to come there. I mean, it's asses and seats at the end of the day.
Well, you've seen over history with some of these guys that get these Michelin stars. These fucking guys have killed themselves literally.
Yeah.
It becomes obsessive.
Well, and there's places
yeah.
closing down too
Killed
that
themselves.
have stars.
Yeah.
Because you don't have. I mean, we're in a different situation now with the economy and all that kind of stuff too. Like, it's just
The
different.
pressure is like here.
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, it's even like when his uncle was, they were breaking it down for his open. Can you be open when you got to be open? Well,
Yeah.
just this, that, other shit. And he was like,
That was a great scene.
you want to be the man? Be the fucking man.
Yeah.
That was a
really
really
good
good
scene.
That hit
Yeah.
fucking anyone who's been in a fucking.
And then he
kitchen.
says the
Yeah.
thing about the girl, and he's
He's
like,
like-
"You're fucked."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're fine. I say with this all love, nephew. You're fucked.
I'd rather have the guests who can afford to come to the restaurant once a week, once a month.
Well, at the end of the day, we all have the bills to pay. Whether
Yeah.
you're the
Right.
fucking owner or you're responsible for the budget in your kitchen, staff, all that shit. We live and die by the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, we like to think we live and die by the food, which we do. But without the numbers, it don't fucking happen. So how about the one where she went, so they needed staff, and she walked up in the alley, tried to poach the cooks.
And the guy
Yeah.
comes out. Yeah.
Are you gonna fucking do that right in front of me?
Yeah.
She walks like, nope, wrong.
Yep. That was a good episode too.
We were probably 8 months into our place being open, and a guy came in to one day, and he was sitting there talking to one of my pizza cooks and just picking his fucking brain. I'm watching it, so he didn't know who was the owner or anything like that. So I was watching. I'm like, okay, and he's like, yeah, I got a shop and all this shit. They ate a couple pies and they left. Came back the next day, and he's sitting there talking. And he came over with someone else, must have been from his shop, and he's like, he was here, he was gone, he's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I was trying to put two and two together. I'm like, can I help you, man? He's like, yeah, I'm looking for so-and-so. I want to say something. He's like, I said, well, he's off today. Oh, man. I said, well, can I help you? He's like, well, we're really interested in what he's doing here. I said, well, he's one of my guys. I
Yeah.
said, are you seriously fucking poaching?
Yeah.
I said, you're coming into our shop to poach a cook sitting here. I said, you're about as professional as they never would be. I said, you don't do that. I said, where's your shop at, by the way?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because
I
that goes
said, you know
both
what you
ways.
can do? I said, you can go out, hire your own, and fucking train them up.
Right. Heard.
Yeah.
I said, but to go in someone's shop, I said, you got to set fucking balls, man.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's bad karma. I
We've
mean,
had
it's
that
just-
same. We've had that with the
Yeah.
front of house
Yeah,
staff
I mean,
too.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean,
It
trying
goes
to get
both
the-
ways.
it
though.
happens. Yeah, it happens. It's like, and I've had cooks that have worked for chefs that I know in the area and different cities, and especially when I, here in Erie after 20 years, it's like, hey man, I really want to come work for you. I went, okay. I said, well, I know your chef. We're homies. I know him real well. I said, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call him. Does he know you're looking? Well, no. I'm like, well, then you gotta let him know. I said, I'm not gonna hire him. I'm not gonna hire you without letting him know. I said, 'cause I have a relationship with him. I don't fucking know you.
Right.
They're like, well, this is, I was like, well, you need to have that conversation.
and that's important. I think everybody needs to be like that.
Yeah.
Well, we all know
that
it's hard enough
helps.
to find people,
Yeah, and I
number
think
one.
I think there's
And-
definitely a loyalty aspect to everything.
It's the talent level too. You go to some bigger cities, I mean, you have more of a talent pool.
Yep.
You just do.
For sure.
And here, there's only so many to go around, and it's almost a respect factor for the other chefs in the area and things like that. And I think that's important.
It is important.
I will never hold nobody back. If someone's
Right.
going to make a move
Yeah.
and progress and do the thing, we've all done it. I'm all behind it. And I always tell my guys and girls, anyone who's working for me, it's like, if you're going to make a move, let me know. And if you've been around long enough, and it's like, I'll let you know whether it's a good move or not. I'll give you my opinion
Yeah.
on whether it's a good move for you to whether this is going to be the right place to go or not. Maybe there's some stuff you don't know about this operation or this proprietor or the chef that
Yeah.
it ain't what you think it is. They could blow smoke up your ass, tell you how
Yeah.
fucking great it is, but I already know what happens there, or you hear stories, and we all fucking see that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
In every interview any of us go on, they make it seem like it's the greatest thing ever. Yeah. Like they're not gonna be like, this is a piece of shit. And
they're
we need your
selling
help.
themselves as
Like
much
that's
as we're
just
selling
like,
ourselves.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a pitch.
A lot of people throw that title around too, though. Sous chef title, I mean, that's something that's earned, and that's one of the things about this
100%.
industry that is the greatest thing is everything is earned. And I've seen probably in the last couple of years that title just thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're
But our
making him a
job
sous
is to be
chef.
selective.
But there's a
and
lot of
not
owners
hire.
out there though too that just, hey, somebody wants a title, we're going to give them the title, but they haven't earned it, or necessarily they're being
Yeah, you're right.
compensated to be a sous chef as well.
Yeah, they always use that hook.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make you a sous chef here. I'll make you chef de cuisine. Oh, yeah, okay, well, that's great. Titles are fucking great. What's the real fucking job here?
Moving on.
Probably keep going on that one.
The thing about this industry is if you're a chef for the most part, like it's hard to have a personal life. And they kind of showed that in the
shit.
show where, you know,
That was Carmi's whole thing.
that was like the second half of the show was trying to have a personal life, and that shit's hard. I got a wife, I got 3 kids, and, you know, we miss shit all the time.
But
You know, like my daughter played soccer last summer. I'm trying to run Molly's. I'm trying to run the Cork at the same time. Like, we miss so many. But she probably went to half of the amount of games that she was supposed to go to.
It's a sacrifice.
It's just, yeah.
we were given the fake phone number. I was telling my wife about that. I'm like, there was a time where she's like, I want you to meet my parents. And I would always typically be like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh, you know, I'm sick or whatever. And like, it would end.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, I got too much going on over here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have time to like try to bring someone else in this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, she was the only person that I was like, you know what? I'll meet, let's go to dinner. Let's figure this out.
Because it's hard to be able to dedicate any amount of time
I'm
into
gone
anything
for-
else besides cooking and being in the restaurant.
9 a.m., I'll see you at 10 at night.
Through the week, like I see my kids maybe in the morning for 30 minutes, and then I see them in the next day for 30 minutes.
So,
I think finding someone who's in the industry, I think a lot of us have
Yeah.
obviously dated either a server or a bartender or something, because it's captive audience.
yeah.
Not being rude, but it's you're working there so much. You're 16-hour days, and you get done work, you go out, you have some drinks, and that's usually who you meet up with. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
100%.
sparks, and there you are. So having someone who's in the industry with you that understands what you got to go through, I'm not gonna say it makes it easier, but it definitely helps explain a lot of shit.
There's understanding.
I'll say it makes it easier. That's the only reason I'm still married, because
you
my
go.
wife's in the
Yeah.
industry, and that's where I met her.
Okay, then that's
You know, and it's like if she actually understands the hours, the dedication, all those things, and if it was somebody who hasn't worked in the industry, I wouldn't be married still.
I mean, at the end of that last episode, you know, where he's locked in the cooler, which fucking blew my mind because push the fucking button, get out of the fucking.
That's what I'm
cooler, dude.
saying.
Right, yeah.
Push the fucking
All of them
button.
have it.
But,
They all
but the
have
whole
it.
thing was that he didn't fix the
Right,
cooler door.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's the thing with the nurse, and I hope it wraps around to balance. That's what I was hoping. Was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
listen, he knows that he doesn't need to be there all the time, and there's some balance. Because that's what we all want is balance.
But there's, I think in general with this industry, there's a certain amount of bandwidth that you have, that you can give. And you saw it in the show where, okay, like he wasn't giving the amount of attention to the chef that he promoted into that position because of the amount of things
Or to the
too.
restaurant.
And then it was struggling with his personal life. All that stuff is real stuff that we all go through regularly.
Daily.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much you can give, and you got to try to balance it as best you can. But
But to know to be able to pass that off to other people,
yeah,
that's huge.
but trust is hard too.
Huh, yeah, I
Trust
was
is
gonna say,
hard.
finding
It's
someone
just
you trust.
That's so important. That's the only way you survive, I think.
It is. I mean,
To be able to
the
walk
the
away.
relationship between a sous chef and executive chef, and there's been a few times in my career where I've gotten to the point where I can look at him and he knows exactly what I'm thinking, and he knows exactly what I'm trying to tell him, and it's just a nod. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, but when you get that too, and you can trust somebody to be able to kind of run the restaurant when you're not there and be able to let go, more so than anything, that's the hard part, being able to let
Yeah.
go. Like, can I leave on a Friday night shift when you know it's going to be fucking busy? Is it going to execute the same way that it would if I was there? That's just hard.
It's that, and then you get, like, I've ran into it, I'm sure we all have. It's like you have that person, you trust them, like, dude, you trust them with your life. It's what it is. You're
Yeah.
trusting with fucking everything, your
Yeah.
reputation, their reputation, and people are like, it's not the same when you're not there. My sous chef, he's been with me in 3 different operations for 20 years. This fucking dude is a badass. He's a fucking stud. He runs the show.
Yeah.
He runs the fucking show.
Yeah.
I always tell my cooks, I said, keep the fucking sous chef happy, and you'll have a good fucking day.
Right.
Do not worry about me. If he's happy, I'm fucking happy.
Right.
Shit rolls uphill.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it rolls downhill. It fucking rolls uphill, man.
100%.
You keep
I
that
couldn't agree
fucking
more.
dude happy, your life's gonna be good. People are like, oh, it's not the same way. I was like, you're full of shit. You're just
Yeah.
saying that because you want to see the face or
Right,
you want
right.
to talk to someone. I said,
Yep.
that dude is the one who's putting the shit out. Even when I'm here, he's fucking, when I'm sitting here talking to you and bullshitting you and blowing smoke up your ass,
He's doing
and
the
my
thing.
putting the show on. He's fucking doing the thing.
There we go.
The sous chefs are the fucking soul, man.
Oh,
They are.
absolutely.
You know, that's a big
100%.
deal.
Oh,
Have
it
you
was
ever been
toxic.
to like your family's thing and like your family already knows what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you come in and you're like
Well, you've been
you're the
disconnected.
chef,
Yeah.
right? Like you're the chef and you're like, I know how to do all this stuff, but like your family already knows how to do it the way that they do it.
Right.
And like you end up kind of fucking it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I think that's where like Carmi was like, no, I can help you. You know, I know how to do this right. And like the mom's like, no, hit the microwave for whatever and put this in here and da 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 da. She already had her thing. It was an absolutely anxiety-ridden.
It was. They did a
episode.
great job of it, though.
One of the best episodes.
Jamie Lee Curtis was fucking unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did a similar thing in season 1, episode 1, where it was just anxiety-ridden, like,
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
and I mean,
when-
they did a good job of it.
Yeah, I think it was the best episode of the season.
And I can't really relate to that. I think like Christmas Eve was something I always look forward to, is my cousins, aunts, uncles, all that kind of stuff. And it was something where, like, I think one time my uncle and my cousin got in a fist fight. There was always a jug of Canadian Club on the counter.
Now
you
it's
know.
Christmas.
Yeah.
That was Christmas, you know, but it was never that like intense, you know. There was always a ton of food and things like that. We had a great time, but it was a little like that, but I can't relate
I
to
mean,
that.
that
Yeah.
was just
Any
sensory
of that.
overload.
That was crazy.
It's
Yeah.
like he couldn't, no matter where he was going for someone else to talk to, it was just getting pounded on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just give the guy a fucking
Sensory
break.
overload. That's a good.
Yeah. Especially with his brother sitting there just ready to throw that fucking fork
Yeah.
at that
the end.
asshole. I'm like, throw the fucking fork, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw it. I hope it sticks in his fucking forehead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut that out.
No, fuck that. Leave that.
Leave it in.
Yeah.
That's good.
He egged him on so bad. He just kept
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
egging him and fucking with him. Chef was talking about earlier, we've all kind of staged at one point or another when it comes to, especially when you're auditioning for a fucking job.
Yeah.
That kind of happened. I did one once, doing a competition. I said, I really want to learn how to fucking fillet fish really good. He's like, all right, so I'm going to send you over to our fish house where you buy seafood from. I'd go over there like 5 in the fucking morning, and all I did was fillet fish. And I thought that was just going to do that.
Oh,
And when I
that's-
first got there, it's like, here's a shovel, ice the fucking fish.
Yeah.
Ice the fish. I'm like, I thought I was going to fucking fillet fish, man. It takes a while before you get to that point. And then all of a sudden you start filleting fish, and you're sitting there like, oh, I'm a chef, or I'm a chef trainee, I'm going to learn how to cut these fish. This is badass. And you're all these guys who cut fish for a living that are badass with a knife. It's 2 swipes and these cats are
Oh yeah.
done.
It's so quick.
They cut differently than you're taught in school.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
doing all this feathering bullshit and fucking
Yeah.
around. These cats are whip, whip, bang,
Yeah.
flip it, because they're production.
Yeah.
And that's how our fish comes.
Yeah.
And to see how those guys bang that out. So I kind of staged for that for like 3 months just to, I came back to work, like, cut fish. I'm watching people cut fish. I'm like, dude, it's fucking like this.
Yeah.
Regardless of what stage you ever do, if not, it's the respect, how you learn. They start with the smallest fucking thing to build you up where you got to get. And then watch Richie go through it. And then when it clicked with him, that was pretty goddamn cool.
You know, you have these people that come from culinary school who think that they're chefs. And one of the things is we want them to do small tasks. And with that, it was like, hey, I need you to pick time. And usually we had them for an hour. Like hourly staff, we had them for an hour. It's like, hey, I need you to pick time. I need you to shuck kale, julienne a 50-pound bag of onions, like things like that. And it wasn't necessarily, it was to see their knife skills. It was to see all of those things. But a lot of times it was to see if they're willing to do it. Because like people coming out of culinary school, sometimes that they think that they're big bad shit. They
Yeah,
think
shit
that
don't
they're
stink sometimes.
they think that they're just automatically chefs. And that's not what this industry is. And it's like about, hey, are you willing to kind of say yes, chef, and just bang out that 50-pound bag of onions, or you're going to give shit to us about?
Because at the end of the day,
you
it's
know?
got to get
Like,
done.
It's got to get done, and that's a
Yeah.
big part of like the restaurant industry too. And I remember too, I went to a chef's kitchen that I knew, and I was kind of early in the company, and one of the things he had me do was just pick herbs and chop herbs all day, and that's not a fun job, but it's something that needs to be done.
The ones that would usually get the job would be the one that when they were done, they'd jump in the fucking dish tank
Yeah,
and bang out a few racks.
yeah,
You're like, oh, that's the fucking guy I want.
right. They're not bitching
Because
about
we
shit.
all still do dishes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll still do dishes. And I love doing dishes. You know why? Because when you're in dish tank, no one fucking bothers you.
Nope.
I think when he stepped in and took over Expo,
Yeah.
when it was
That's
time
what
for
I
him to
liked
call
it
the
too.
tables, he said, I got to turn this table around. I got to fucking go. Let's go fucking go time. I fucking love you all. Let's do it.
Yep.
And he hits the timer and he ripped. That's when you knew that Richie was, I got chills. I was like, that's where the motherfucker
Oh yeah.
hit it.
And that's the
That's what I
mentality too.
Yeah, and he understood the little things, that the little things mattered
Yeah.
throughout the service. I thought that was
Yeah.
Well,
super
even when
important.
they were setting up and he walked away and she had the Sharpie sitting up He's like, excuse me real quick. He relined
Yeah.
his Sharpies because it
Yeah.
was driving him nuts. OCD. Who has OCD?
I mean,
No
I think
chef
we
you
all
ever met in your life,
probably
right?
do, Yeah.
Do you remember what song played when Richie took over Expo?
I
Oh my
don't.
God.
If you don't remember.
Was it Soundgarden?
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. Yeah. Animal. Yeah.
But that's the mentality that I think we want out of anybody who's in the restaurant in general. Let's rock and roll, I think is one of the things that he said. Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Yeah.
That's what we want, right? Like it's always hard. It's never easy. And like in the middle of that rush too, like we've all had that thing, you got a stack of tickets in your hand and you're like, I want to leave. I don't want to do this shit
Right.
anymore. But you fight through that and you get through that, and that's kind of
That or you get that one person who just out of nowhere fucking steps up.
right. Yeah.
And then you're like, during the rush, you're like, God damn.
yeah.
And then when it's over, you're like, I'm paying for your bar tab tonight.
Right.
Because you just took us out of the shit.
There's a lot of people that can. It takes a special person to work in this industry, in my opinion. People not showing up to work because they're drunk or alcohol, drugs, whatever it is. Like, I think we've all seen that kind of stuff. And for me, it's like if you can't handle the rush and you kind of pop off for whatever reason, like that's kind of a good telltale sign that you probably shouldn't be in this industry.
We have all experienced it one way or another, or we've had a cook that's gone down that trail. We've lost people because of it. You lose good people, you invest your time, your soul into training them, and you lose them to some of that shit. And not just lose them because they lost their job. These guys lose their fucking lives over that shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
heard.
fucking real. So it's funny that as soon as you said it, we all kind of like, we all thought about someone, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And that fucking hits, man.
Leaving the line in general is,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't do that.
No, you got to stay there.
Finish your shift.
Once he got locked in there, he
He had to
forgot
deal
one
with
thing.
his
He
bullshit,
forgot
though.
that he fucking forgot to call someone to fix the fucking cooler.
True.
Which probably also he got locked in there and he had a fucking minute till everything fucking hit him.
And it's too much.
And it hit him all at once and it fucking pounded him. We've all had that time where we're just moving so much, so hard, so fast for such a long period of time when we don't stop. But then all of a sudden you're forced to stop and they're like that fucking moment, you're like, holy shit, it's anxiety.
I should have been locked in the walk-in a couple
That was,
times.
yeah, I think you nailed that. That was, I don't even think I thought about any of that, but that's really,
That's what I saw. And I was
I
like,
think you
I've
nailed
been there.
that.
I've been like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Now you had actually, you're forced to think about what the fuck is going on. 'Cause
Yeah.
You had no time to stop.
yeah.
And when you do, it's fucking overload. You just blew up, and that sucked, but it's what it is. We've all done that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately.
We've all blown up people we never wanted to,
Yeah.
and immediately regret it.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, it feels fucking good. Selfishly, it feels good to do it, but it doesn't solve shit.
I mean, there's always those people too where, I think we've all had this where you know that how it's going to end, right? And
Yeah.
has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but it's something a little bit different. But we all know how it's going to end. Maybe we tolerate a little bit too much bullshit from somebody.
Right.
And it weighs on you. I know for me, like I go home at night and I think about those things. How can I make them better or whatever it is? And maybe you can't make them better. You try your best to try to make them better and maybe they don't. And then when you actually get to the point where you're done with that person, it is like a relief off of your chest, and it feels good and it feels better. I think as chefs, we just kind of carry a lot of shit every single day. Reviews, we carry the shit of our staffs, all of the sales, the food costs, like all of those things are real shit that we carry every single day, and they're not easy to fix, especially in this industry, in this day and age right now with the economy, and that's a lot.
And we're inherently our worst critic.
Yeah, 100%.
I will pick myself apart worse than anyone can.
Yeah.
Because you're also trying to take care of your employees. You're trying to take personal shit. Everything that gets fucking boiled down into one. It's like, but you're still trying to drive to do the best you can. But you're also your worst critic, not just with food.
No, I think the pressure too of it, resting on your shoulders, especially like Carmi, right? Like this was his place, it was his new restaurant, and like you're dealing with all that pressure
Yeah.
of like launching this place, and then having the bullshit from the previous place
Yeah.
carry over.
Right.
Yeah, he's
That
pulling the
my
good stuff
cousin
out of that. though.
right?
Yeah.
My cousin is good, but like he isn't still yet. Letting go of the reins.
Yeah, you take it all on, right?
Right. The relationship side of like trying to like connect with this girl and not connect with the girl. Like there's a lot of bullshit in that last
Oh, yeah.
scene that is pretty deep, like
Yeah.
really deep.
It-
Trying to filter through all that
Yeah.
and then you're alone in a walk-in, right? Like
Yeah.
with all your thoughts, that's pretty heavy shit. Like am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Do I want to continue doing what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I mean, those are huge things. In this business, you have to be all in.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful and continue on. But you also need to learn how to balance that. You know, I think that was huge.
It requires being able to trust a lot of different people. And that's not easy at all. Like we talked a little bit about that with like sous chefs and things like that. And I know that, you know, for me in my career, the older I got, the more I realized I needed to apply more pressure to sous chefs. Like,
Yep.
because they're the future. Not only that, they can learn a lot, but at the same time, like I want them to be an executive chef. I want them to run the building. And I have 3 kids right now. I want to also be able to see them and go to practice.
You want to enjoy
Like,
life,
I
man.
want to be able to enjoy life a little bit too. Like
Yeah.
I put in the 90, 100-hour weeks. I've done that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying I'm done doing any of that because that just doesn't go away. Like, and I'm always, anytime that something needs to be done, like I'm there. But at the same time, like I want to be able to trust the people around me.
And I think that's the one thing when you go back to that scene where he's locked in the cooler, he didn't get to see Richie step the fuck up.
Yeah, 100%.
Imagine how proud he would have been
Yeah.
to see that cat take the helm and run the shit
Yeah.
out of it
Yeah.
and pop off.
And he crushed it too.
He killed it, and he didn't get
Crushed
to
it.
see that. And like,
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, that's got to come back around. And him not
Richie.
being locked in that cooler probably wouldn't have let that scenario
Right.
happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fact that it did, and he didn't get to see his cousin, because his cousin loves the shit out of him. They love the shit out of each other. He's like, "What'd you say to that girl? What did you just fuck up?" Meanwhile, he just came off the biggest high he had
Yeah.
in his entire fucking life, as far as the rush of running the shit out of something
yeah.
for his
And
cousin.
the restaurant
Right,
went well.
right.
Fucking right, man.
Yeah. It
went
And
great.
like he was like, I wish you could have saw what I fucking did.
Yeah.
It's
Through
always
that kind of
controlled
stuff.
chaos. It's
Right.
always
Always,
controlled
yeah.
chaos. It's
I
just a
agree.
matter of what's the level
I
of
mean,
getting off the
and we're
rails.
talking about an opening.
Yeah.
Right, an opening is different than normal
100%,
business.
yeah.
We don't know how this is going to work, how this menu item is going to go out, how everybody's going to work together. I mean, there's so much bullshit
Yeah.
in an opening compared
Openings
to.
suck.
You think you have it in your head, you're like, this is how it's going to go. It doesn't go
You
that
honestly
way.
don't know until you know.
Until you do it.
Yeah.
And then you work it out and whatever, but
Yeah.
then you have someone that comes in
Yep.
and reviews it 2 days later when you're fucking trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is garbage. It's like, wait a minute.
You
Like, you
don't
didn't
read-
give me a chance to fucking do my thing.
You don't
Like,
read that shit for the first
yeah.
month.
For some reason, this business like gets you all like encompassed and this is what I'm supposed to be doing all the fucking time. Fuck all the noise. You know, as you get older and you have kids and relationships, like the noise is life. You know, I think what's important is you have to find the balance in between all that.
It's a bear, and the pardon the pun, but
It is.
it is. And you want to lead by example more than anyone because you're the guy, and that's fine.
harder
We
than
love that
anything
because obviously we fucking get off on it. Be real, we're ego fucking nut jobs when it comes to that. Nothing better when it goes fucking right and everything pops and the food's fucking great and everyone's loving your shit. The fucking show, whether someone's fucking kind of tweaked out just because it's for TV, but the baseline fucking issue, what's going on there is fucking real. It fucking happens, man.
It is.
When you watch, you're like, I fucking get it, man.
I get every
It's
bit of
crazy
it.
to get home from work one night when you're fucking nuts with a shitty fucking day and you put that fucking show on.
Yeah.
And it's
the same
crazy
thing.
fucking scene. Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah. I gotta relive this.
I gotta live it,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't turn it off.
What do you guys think about Maddie Meth?
Fucking
Oh,
love him.
he was great.
He's the hottest fucking thing right now. It's unbelievable. It's not just because of what's going on. Watch some of his fucking podcasts and some of his other shit. He's a fucking good dude. And that dude can fucking cook, man.
Yeah, he can.
He's been around for a while.
He was
He's
talking
good.
about I watched this like
Keeping
short
it Canada. Watch
Yeah.
that fucking
on
shit.
him
Yeah.
of, like washing chicken, and I laughed out loud like hysterically.
Ah.
Like him talking about washing chicken.
Yeah.
He's like, who
No,
the
he's
fuck
absolutely
is washing
hilarious.
chicken?
Oh,
No,
and
he's hilarious.
He's like, why are we washing our meat?
I think he's a fucking cartoon
Yeah, he's.
but in the show, I mean, I know he's in front of the house now.
Yeah.
with a fucking rat tail.
Yeah.
He's like, I need a screwdriver. Do I look like I have a screwdriver? Yeah,
here
fuck
we
you,
go.
man. I got a
He
screwdriver. Right
just
here.
pulls it out.
It's
yeah.
like, I look good.
That's,
That
we'd
was
like
fun,
to
Chef.
burn. we need
Thank
to-
you.
Absolutely.
No, it was great. Yeah.
Hey, chef.
Absolutely,
Thanks.
thank you guys.
See you,
Chef.
motherfucker. See you on Wednesday.